This is the mental momentum series, and today we're just talking about what dopamine is and how it affects your life as a trader. Or let me just start by describing what we're going to be doing in the mental momentum series, right? So in the mental momentum series, what I'm planning on doing is like rewiring our brains so that they can work effectively for us to become profitable. I was just watching this YouTuber Andrew Kebi, right, and he was talking about what dopamine detoxing and how dopamine affects us, right? Then watched Ryan D Doras, whatever. Look it up and correct me in the comment section on below. And then there's Andrew Huberman. So just in a nutshell, I'm going to cover what dopamine is and how it can affect us, right? So I'm now applying how all this dopamine stuff and this everything can affect us as traders, right? But I'm just going to cover what dopamine is in case you're not a trader, but you also want to learn how dopamine can affect you, how it can make you less productive and all that, right? So in this video today, we're just talking about what it is, and in the next video, I think we're going to talk about how we can correct this. We can actually leverage dopamine in order for it to work in our advantage, right? So, what is dopamine? So dopamine is a hormone, the motivation hormone, the chase hormone, right? So it gives us the drive, right? So it's the get more hormone. It's mainly related to motivation towards pleasure and reward, right? So it's not the pleasure or the reward, but it's actually the motivation for you to chase that pleasure or that reward, right? So let's say we just finished having dinner. We are still sitting at the table. It's time for dessert. You have two options for dessert. Either you're going to have ice cream or you're going to have uh, a carrot. Which of the two would you choose? Okay, let's just be honest with each other. Just type in the comment section and be honest. Of course, 9 out of 10 of the times we're just going to pick ice cream. That's exactly how our brain and dopamine works. Though you know that the carrot obviously has more benefits and is more healthier, you'd still choose the ice cream. It's actually quite ironic because as much as you know that studying uh, will make you get better grades and make you progress in life or something like that, you still prefer watching Netflix, scrolling TikTok, or even going to sleep because it's the less demanding thing to do, right? You get more reward from that, you get more pleasure, right? So you're motivated to do what exactly that. So as I said, dopamine is the motivation hormone, the chase hormone, right? You want to get more of that, right? Let's just ask ourselves this question, right? Think to yourself, how many times have you wanted to do something serious, something productive, right? And you can't even spend an hour doing that meaningful stuff. Maybe it's studying, maybe it's backtesting, maybe it's analyzing, maybe it's learning a new skill, right? And you are not even able to spend even an hour, even 30 minutes most of the times. It's just boring. And I know I've been there, right? I'm also making this video because this is actually the phase that it affects me also, right? That's why I was able to relate to this and thought I should just make a video teaching you exactly what I learned from this. Maybe you didn't come across the topic yet. You can spend an hour or something doing meaningful work that will make you benefit in the long run, that will make you productive, that will make you profitable, that will make you a lot more money, right? But you can spend 3 hours, 4 hours just watching some random shit. You can easily spend 3 hours on TikTok or even 5 hours on Netflix watching a series, scrolling through social media and YouTube, right? And you instead of taking action. For example, I've got the perfect example right now. Instead of you maybe analyzing, backtesting, or analyzing where you went wrong when you entered the trade, analyzing charts, backtesting, doing all that stuff, you still right now you're finding yourself on YouTube. You're already watching this video right now. It's because it's the lesser demanding thing, right? You get more reward. You feel as if you're already profitable if you watch a YouTube video. If you watch new strategy, that's 99% bullshit. That's 99% bullshit. 99% profitable. They're just lying to you. Right? So as humans, we naturally choose the easier, the most comfortable option when over the harder, uncomfortable decision option. Even if you know that the uncomfortable situation is going to reward you later, it's got higher reward, you still choose what the easier option at that time. Let's take, for example, maybe you are fat. I hope you're not, because if you are, then this is actually you that I'm describing. Maybe you are fat, right? Or just in general, right? Just in general, even the body that you are in right now. Take, for example, how many of us enjoy exercising? One, two out of, I don't know how many people are going to watch this video, but maybe I assume that very few people enjoy exercising. But even though we know that it's healthier for us to exercise, it's healthier for your heart, for your everything, for you to what to exercise, but still you don't exercise. You'd rather go to sleep or watch a video or watch whatever else you think that is rewarding at that time. But what most people don't actually know is that the more pain you go through, the more pain that you suffer, the more pain that you endure, the greater the reward is going to be. Imagine maybe, let's say you've been studying 3 hours, 5 hours a day, right? And write exams and doing results actually come, right? And you've passed. Imagine the joy that you had. Imagine the joy that you have. I'm sure that there's a certain time that you have worked hard towards something and it actually worked, and actually achieved it. You worked hard towards something and you actually achieved it. You're able to achieve it. Imagine the joy that you felt, right? So it's always better for us to choose what the option that we think is hard, right? So like it's the boring option, but it's better for you to choose that option. As a trader, you know that it's hard for you to trade, to analyze, to backtest, or to journal your trades, or even learn a new strategy. You know that it's hard. So a better option for you, so like the higher rewarding system, the higher reward is just coming through to YouTube, watching videos just like this one. I'm not saying that you shouldn't watch, but I'm not saying that you should spend hours and hours watching videos instead of learning something new, right? If it means that you won't come back to my channel to watch stuff, as long as if you're going to do something that's very profitable, then fine with me. At least you're doing something to improve your improve your life, improve your trading. Don't settle for watching just YouTube videos and doing that stuff, right? Instead, you have to keep practicing backtesting. Don't relax. Keep pushing forward. So now let's discuss how dopamine actually affects your brain. How does dopamine make you not want to do not want to do what more work, right? So let's say let me delete all this stuff. Right. So how does dopamine not make you want to do what want to do work, right? So dopamine actually works. It's so like what luckily I did biology in my A level, right? Right now I'm doing mining, not related at all, but I was able to do a little bit of biology, right? So I think I'll be able to explain it a little bit better. And I did some math, right? So let me delete this and show you how dopamine works, right? So we've got this. Let's take this as a what? As a graph over here, right? I've got this graph over here. So I'm going to explain to you how dopamine actually works. We've got what? I just drawn two charts. I think I'm going to need two of them, right? So over here, all right, let me pick another color so that you'll be able to understand, so that you don't say I didn't explain it to you well. Right, so over here, right? So dopamine is actually is a what? Is a baseline, right? So this is let's say this is what your baseline. Yeah, it should be straight, but I think you get the idea. But that line should be straight. So everyone is the normal baseline, right? And the baseline is different from person to person, right? So your baseline might be might be greater than mine or less than mine. Mine might be higher than yours and all that stuff, right? So generally, you can see the energy levels. Let's say if a person is higher dopamine baseline, right? They are usually more motivated to do a task. Yeah, they're usually energetic, right? So these are the most people. Most of them, they are just hyper. You just see them as hyper. As for me, I'm just. I think my baseline is actually low. I'm planning on making sure that I am able to increase it a little bit, so that I'm more motivated to do all my tasks and all that stuff, right? So this is what your normal baseline, right? So, and let's say you are very hungry, right? You are hungry, and from a distance you smell maybe a burger or a chips, frying chips, or whatever, right? So whenever you smell food, right, your dopamine goes high because you are motivated to eat that. As in, you are motivated to what your hunger is motivating you to have that burger or have that food, right? So your dopamine goes up. So it's motivating you to what? To go for, say, go eat the pizza, go eat the pizza, go eat the pizza, right? That's what your brain is saying, right? So that's what your brain is doing, right? So, and when you eat that pizza, right, your baseline is going to come back to what? To your dopamine is going to come back to baseline. But instead of coming back to baseline, it actually drops a little bit. But that's a topic for another day. Then it usually comes back again to normal, right? So this is actually how our brain works, right? So let's take, for example, we're studying, right? We are studying, right? So studying is actually, we are not motivated to study. I don't like studying. Yes, for me, I don't know about you, but I don't like studying personally, right? I just do it, but just because I don't have an option, right? So let's say we're studying, right, and let's say this over here, we're studying, right? Busy studying, right? And then maybe you want to take a break, right? You take a break, and guess what? You go watch YouTube. You go watch TikTok. Yeah, TikTok to be specific, right? And you watch TikTok. Over here, obviously, your dopamine is going to go high. It's going to go up, right? So this is what, so like what the pleasure that you are getting, you get this amount of pleasure, right? And imagine going back to study. What's more rewarding for your brain? Is it watching TikTok or studying? Obviously, it's TikTok because it's getting all these hits of dopamine hits, right? Instead of going back to baseline over here or going lower, it's actually lower because we are not motivated to study, right? So it's actually, when you're reading, it's actually a little bit lower, right? So right over here, your baseline is actually lower, right? So obviously, you're not going to be motivated to go back and study because your brain actually has seen something that's a lot more simpler for you to do. Actually, dopamine actually explained to me how, let's say I'm scrolling through TikTok, right? How some videos, most of the times, it doesn't take you even 3 seconds to scroll to the next video. Why? Why do you think that? Because let's say the previous video that you watched, right? The previous video, maybe a baseline, that the previous video that you watched reached this peak over here. Obviously, if you watch the next video, and as long as if that next video doesn't excite you to reach up until this level, maybe it just reaches maybe this level over here, right? It's obviously you're not going to be excited as much because it doesn't reach this level over here. So obviously you're going to want something that beats this peak over here, right? For you to get to get even more excited, right? So let's say you are very hungry again. I think that I'm hungry. That's why I'm giving all these examples about food. Right? So let's say you are hungry, right? Again, right? Uh, well, what do you think is going to give you more reward? Right? So maybe there's a vegetable salad, right? Or having a burger. Of course, having a burger is going to have a higher reward. So your brain actually compels you to to have a burger or something that just your brain is going to compel you to do the simpler tasks, right? So now, how does this information affect you as a trader? If you're not a trader, don't forget to watch the next video on how you can actually control this, how you can be able to study more, how you can be able to get more work done, right? So this is a trader, right? You right now you could be analyzing, you could be backtesting, you could be journaling your trades that you took, what you think you're not doing correctly, all that stuff, self-reflecting, all that stuff, right? But you're not doing that right now. You are just watching YouTube. Why? Because it's what simpler is. Your brain will always choose the simpler option instead of you going to backtest and analyze right now and notice where you are going wrong. Of course, this is going to be more rewarding for you in the long run, but your brain wants what's simpler at that time, right? So you have to make sure that you'll be able to to choose the harder option, the more I wanted to say more profitable option, but we are not talking about profits today. So like the more rewarding, more productive option. So make sure that you have to choose the more productive option always, always, and always. As for me, I was once in a similar position, right? Being a trader, I kept on learning new strategies over and over, but I was failing to start trading. I wanted the holy grail strategy, so I wanted to find the best strategy, but unfortunately, there is none. It only leads to analysis paralysis, and you won't be able to take entries, right? So make sure that you there's never going to be that strategy that gives you the best. So like you're feeling the best, there's never going to be that strategy is never going to come. But what I actually benefited from that is that I've learned a lot of strategies, right? That actually share with you on this channel. That's the only thing that I benefited from, learning different strategies. And for you to make yourself better, for you to become better, I've only come to realize that for you to become a better trader, become a better version of yourself, you have to work towards learning that strategy, because almost every strategy works. Every strategy works, but you have to work on your mentality, find your edge, work on your emotions. You have better entry criteria that suits your personality. So that's what you should be doing instead of just watching YouTube videos. Do what's productive, right? And in the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can do this, how you can be able to analyze more, how you can be able to backtest, how you can be able to do all that stuff. And so if you're interested, you can just subscribe or turn on your notification for when I post that video, right? So I think I'll post it about after 4 days after posting this one. I don't know the date I'm going to post this video, so you can just wait 4 days or something like that. But just turn on notification so that you'll be able to see when I post that. Right? You have to stop watching YouTube videos is if they are going to make you a better trader. You are just after it because it's simpler than doing the real work, the real hard work, right? So you have to work on yourself. So if you want to learn to become a better trader, focus more on yourself, and I suggest that you watch the dopamine detox video that I'm going to post next.